Hello everyone, this is Neelam Pathak here, and I am the founder and CEO for WIMA, which is Women in Manufacturing and Allied Industry. As a part of WIMA, we all know that the manufacturing industry participation of women is very low in India. It is in the range of 12% to 15%. At WIMA, we have taken this mission to increase this workforce participation in the manufacturing and allied industry through WIMA efforts, where we are supporting women through the skilling, through mentoring, employability, and the network. We are working along with both students, professionals, companies, so that we can help more and more people, more and more women to join manufacturing and allied industry. As a part of our WIMA efforts through the skilling, we do this live webinar where we get the women from various sectors and we discuss about this. We get the leaders, we discuss about technical skills, a lot of leadership skill. And in the same series, today we have the series on women in leadership. So again, to all the viewers who are watching us today, if you want to get associated with WIMA, you can visit our website www.wima.co.in. You can register yourself as a member and you can be part of this community. You can where we can help you through various assessments of like skilling, mentoring, employability search, network, and be a part of this fantastic network community. Now, if you are an organization who is looking to hire for diversity, looking to have the customized skilling courses for retaining talents, or support for the policies and the inclusion, you can also connect with us. You can visit our website and put your requirements. Now, I would like to welcome Squadron Leader Mayuri Yeolekar. Now, but before I introduce Mayuri, it is very inspiring to have her on our platform today because she is going to be taking and sharing her experience on leadership. Now, if you ask me, what is leadership? Leadership is not about holding a position of authority, it is about having the courage to make a decision under pressure, the resilience to overcome the challenges, and the commitment to inspire others through your actions. Now, today's speaker is truly embodies these qualities because it is my privilege to introduce Squadron Leader Mayuri Yeolekar, who is retired now from her defense services. And she is a remarkable leader whose journey reflects discipline, courage, excellence, and continuous learning. She was born in Nagpur. She did her BTech in electrical engineering before fulfilling her dream of joining the Indian Air Force in 2010. During her distinguished decade of services, she worked on guided weapons, missile systems, combat operations, serving in the fields, units along India borders, and leading critical operations exercises involving large battalions. One of the proud highlights of her military career was being part of the Republic Day parade in 2015 during the historic visit of then US President Barack Obama in India. Her exceptional contribution to the nation earned her official commendations for outstanding services before she retired from the Indian Air Force in January 2020. What makes her journey even more inspiring is her ability to reinvent herself. After serving the nation, she transitioned seamlessly into corporate world, contributing to leading organizations such as Society General, Eton, and the Mumbai Cricket Association, gaining experience across various functions like finance, administration, and security management. A firm believer in lifelong learning, she has further strengthened her leadership journey through the advanced program in corporate strategies, business leadership from IIM Indore, and holding prestigious certificates including PMP, Six Sigma, Black Belt, and International Business Management from IFT New Delhi. Today, she dedicates her time to mentoring and empowering others as a career counselor for armed forces aspirants and a leadership skill trainer helping individuals unlock their true potential. Beyond her professional achievement, I know, I'm so excited to introduce her, and I really wanted to put all this because it's worth mentioning that how from a defense career transitioning to a corporate career and then That is where we wanted to learn what leadership is about, whether you are working in the defense or you are working in the corporate. So today's session, friends, is an opportunity to learn from someone who has led in some of the most demanding environment, from defending our nation's border to leading teams in the corporate world. Her experience will undoubtedly provide valuable insights on resilience, confidence, decision making, and leadership that every aspiring professional can apply to their journey. So please join me in extending a very warm welcome by the WIMA on the WIMA platform. Welcome, Sqn Ldr Mayuri again. And as I said, it is I'm personally very happy to introduce you, and that's the reason I wanted to put it up all those that you have done your work in the defense and now you're doing in the corporate world. So Mayuri, welcome again.
Thank you so much, Neela, and the complete team of WIMA and all the viewers. I'm really happy, and uh, you were talking so good words about me. I really feel happy for that and grateful for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I believe the kind of exciting journey you had, Mayuri, and I believe a lot of our viewers who are watching us today or who will be watching this after the session, even this thing,
Right.
you'll be excited to know, especially your personal journey, the journey that how you have made from being an officer in the Indian Air Force. And then, if I have to talk about those initial years of yours, especially how do you define this military career that has tested your resilience and leadership? What are a few of those challenges into those? And I believe this will be the new things. And what are those leadership, actually helped you to learn on those leadership styles or leadership part that today that has is helping you into your corporate career or as being a mentor? If you would like to talk about this, I know I've asked a lot of questions, but it is mainly about your personal journey in your defense and how it helped you to learn on those leadership part.
Right, Neela. So it actually started very early in my childhood, and if I talk way back, when the kids used to read about fairy tale stories and the soft toys, we never got this opportunity. We all, as a siblings, we have three siblings, and during our summer holidays we used to always focus upon the books which has been shared with us by our parents. They were mainly about the autobiographies of the freedom fighters, the people who has done great for the country. They have changed the history. So to name a few, Rani Jhansi Lakshmi Bai and Vishweshwaraya. So these were the stories we have been reading. And during that period, somewhere in the back of the mind, to do something for the society and for the nation, that seed got planted. If I talk about this, my parents, my father and grandfather both were in ordnance factory defense, and that kind of conducive environment. My sister was in NCC during her school days. So that kind of conducive environment kept me, or maybe that thing got manifested somewhere. Uh, when I joined the college in electrical engineering department, first day the professor came and asked all the students that what do you want to become and what do you want to do after the graduation is done. Almost everybody had the answer of going for the MS outside country or maybe sometimes to join the multinational companies. I believe that my answer was to join the Indian Air Force as a women officer. I think surely that got manifested somewhere in the back of the mind. And if I talk about this, when I gave my first SSB in the first attempt, I got selected. And from there, the journey started of learning. When I joined, I was just knowing about three words as Indian Air Force and what generally happens inside. But there was that passion to do something for the nation was very, very strong. And their, their counterparts, which I had as a sportsmates. So many of us were coming from a good sports background. We were, had an NCC in their school times. We were good in swimmings. So I was learning each and everything in the academy. So there was a lot of things on my plate to start with, and managing that, coping up that things actually gave me an edge to go forward and focus upon the things which are required. Mentally, I realized that I'm a little stronger, and I kept going even though I had some physical injuries that time. So, the training phase is very important for any soldier, any officer who's are going through that. It is one of the toughest phase, all, as well as it's one of the beautiful memories we share with each other. So, during this period, leadership qualities, which we call it as OLQs, so officer-like qualities, we develop that time, and having the camaraderie, bonding with each other, learning how to share all the things. So these were small things we not knowing as far as the consciously, but they were training us in that way that we are getting mentally, physically strong. Our bonding camaraderie is getting stronger, and that is how the small steps towards leadership were started. Surely, when I went in the units, uh, there was lot of the teams were there, complete big battalions. We in our units, if I talk about the Indian Air Force, we call it as squadrons, and we had a big team. So managing that, going in the front, and these were small things in the initial days, made me learn a lot about the leadership.
Thank you, Mayuri. I have just one request. If you could be closer to the mic so that the output voice is better. Uh, One more question, you talked about how was those initial, how did you went into Indian Air Force? And I know this is like still in our India, like manufacturing, defense forces are still on those lower side of participation. And I know government is doing a lot to have more women coming into the defense air force, like whether it is air force or the army, and that's a good step. And we have similar kind of this thing whether in the manufacturing also, which is one of the traditional industry, we can have more and more women participation. Because the point here is right now what's been coming, because both these sectors, if you see, they are kind of similar. Both are very dominant from the other gender, and naturally the kind of work, the kind of responsibilities and all are also structured more around that. And that is why uh, traditionally it has been observed that women don't prefer the shop floor functions or the work, and that is also one of the reason that women are not dominant into this, or I'll say there's not even an equal participation into the workforce for in the manufacturing. That's where Bima is working currently. But what I wanted to understand from Mayuri, you have done your defense career, then you transition into corporate. How was that transition? Because one is very very disciplined and very very structured organization, and then on the other side corporate, which is like, well, now we know that there are different type of organizations, and there's a very different kind of system and structure out there. How was your transition from military career or defense career to a corporate career, if you would like to talk about that?
Yes, sure. So, like you mentioned very rightly, Neela, that industries we have that similar, male dominating industries. However, when we say military, since ages and eras, it has always been male dominated. However, honestly, when we were working inside, I never felt that bias and discrimination, because when we say that an officer, so it is never been said as a male officer or a lady officer. It is always an officer who have to deliver your task, mission, and you have to accomplish them within the timeline. That discipline is always required in your professional knowledge. So that kind of discrimination we generally don't face it. However, uh, I can say that with respect to the statistics, the percentage of women in armed forces for India, it is surely still low. It is approximately 11,000 women women are now there. Whether they are soldiers or officers, they are almost 11,000, which has increased drastically, three times, triple the strength from the previous decade. So surely there is a progress. It might take a little bit of more time because that awareness, maybe because of the social environment, social media, geopolitical issues, which we have been seeing very closely nowadays. So that is one of the factors where the strength is increasing. And there is particular period of time where the short service commissioned officers, they come outside and they have to transit not only for the short service, but even though there are many officers and air warriors, veterans, they do come outside. That transition is surely little different and difficult for each and every veteran. So focusing upon that for me, when I came outside, it was the year 2020, and on top of that, it was a COVID time. So that was a little challenging for every individual to look for the opportunities. Military and corporate, they are, they never intersect with each other because of the demands of the organizational needs. So, understanding what a veteran can deliver in the corporate sector, or maybe on the other side, if we can say, as far as the recruiter is concerned, they are not able to understand what all things we can gain from the veteran, what all things they can, add up in the company. So that is surely a very big breach, and it is very big topic. Maybe we can have any different session for that. It is quite in detail. So for me, it was surely taking a bit of time that is. But what is more important is a veteran needs to be a very flexible. So they always are. They are very adaptive in nature. They understand the the jargons. It is little different in Lodge and corporate. It is just that you need to understand. Example for I can say for human resources, we call it as adjutant. For logistics, it is being said as supply chain management. So making understanding of the jargons and the certifications which are required for a particular job role. So I did that, completed my project management professional Six Sigma, which is which is also required in the industries as well. So understanding where I can excel and what all things are required to bridge the gap. So I did that, and surely I got a very good mentor and excellent company. I joined in Society General, where the managers and the complete team, they were very supportive. They were very welcoming and helpful to make understand that the technologies which are there. On the other side, from my end, I could deliver for the soft skills which I had, the leadership qualities, where I could actually add on. So I joined in the branding and strategy of the company, where I could, give my innovative and diversified approach for the company. So surely it is challenging for each and every veteran, but they actually excel when they go in the companies in various sectors. It has been the proven facts.
Thank you, Mayuri. Uh, you know, you rightly said that when you are transitioning from a defense career to a corporate career, you skill yourself, right, as per the industry requirements. Where you mentioned about project management, Six Sigma, and that is the right approach as well, because when these are very different industry, and that is where we at WIMA also focuses on that one has to be upskilling themselves, and that is why one of the vertical that we provide is about the skilling, because we work on what is coming in the future. If if we would like more women to be part of the workforce, we have to tell them what are the future skills that they should get skilled in, whether it is about AI in supply chain manufacturing, whether it is about industry 4.0 and then 5.0, or whether it is about even the leadership skill that would require in this sector in the future. And that's why we do run a lot of courses, both at the corporate level and the company, and also for individual levels, so that they get equipped themselves, because that is one thing. Skilling themselves is one, I believe, that helps them to have the, the, I always say, a market valuation for them, because to fetch a
Very
right job for them with the right skill, and that itself will help them to grow them in their career. And that's why it's a request to all the women professionals or the professionals. If you have to be relevant into the market, please upskill yourself for the future skills which are going to be coming in or which are already in the trend. And today industry is changing very fast from the skilling. But let me ask you
very
another
fast.
question that's more about, one is on the softer side, that because today's session is about women in leadership, developing the leadership quality. And while introducing, I was talking about leadership is not about the position that you hold, but it is more about how
Right,
decision you take it in, what kind of decision you have taken, how you have taken care of, or how you have done the thing through your team. So it's more about how do you execute, how how well decision you have taken it, and rather than only talking about the positions and the ranks. What I want, like, you have worked in a industry, or you have worked in a sector which is very male dominated, high pressure job. If I have to ask you, what are some of the leadership qualities that you have developed during your defense career that has helped you into your corporate career, if you would like to highlight onto that? And how, if you have to give a message to the maybe the veteran or the people, or the other professionals, that how can they learn from your this the leadership quality that you have developed from that sector and that has helped you here?
right. Neelam, very rightly said. It is really important to understand what we are learning with our experiences and how we are applying it when we are, transiting from military to corporate world. So here I'm just recollecting one of the memory in my initial days when I was a young officer, and I got posted in one of the second. It was a second posting for me, and in general, talking about the armed forces, it is always adventurous and challenging days which we go through. Multiple postings and lot of going forward from one place to another for deployments. And when I got posted in one of my unit, it was immediately the third day. It was been asked for you have to take the convoy from with all your complete team as a convoy commander from place A to place B. I will be just saying as place A and place B just for keeping it confidential. So I was traveling. So I said yes, definitely I am in for that. Uh, I was the only lady officer. If we say that male dominated, I was the only lady officer among 250 men. However, never I felt that I'm the only person. In fact, everybody has been very, very respectful. I never had any such issues. So, so I said yes, and I was having a team of 30 plus people. We had to go from place A to place B. I planned it, everything, execution. However, sometimes adverse scenarios come. So when we were traveling at one of the near to that village, our vehicle got breakdown, and that is where your leadership comes up. So focusing upon what are the local listening I can do, listening with the police authorities, local people, understanding what all things we are where we are going wrong. So my team, we all were taking care of that situation, and one of the one of the most important thing during the adverse situation or maybe during the high pressures is that one as a leader needs to keep the calm, and they need to understand where the team at the end they are having the issues rather than asking for maybe which is the mistake which we are doing. It is important to understand the root cause and taking that ownership at that point. So I was figuring this out, and I was providing all the kind of help and support for my team, being there. And during that period, the villages and few people, the children, the mob, they started coming closer, and they were also very concerned and worried. How come we are going to, because it was little taking more time. As soon as our vehicle got serviceable and operational, uh, it was so delightful to see that each and every individual and the villagers, they were shouting as Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai. So sometimes the point is, whenever, even though we are facing some issues, the kind of support we have to also provide to our team, and the kind of support we also get it from the other external elements, which is it takes our mission towards, at the next level. So here, what I have been learning is focusing. It is not about the vertical. It is not that the individual will be only mentioning about the command which is coming from top to bottom. But it is very important to be at the center of your team, connecting with everybody. It is not a line, it is like a circle where you are at the center and providing all kind of support, being flexible, giving them a space to have a little bit of mistakes. That we in this era, we talk about the zero error methodology. It is not like that. You have to give little bit of space to your team to perform and being honest so that they should come up to you even though something goes wrong. So these were the learnings I had at the very early days in my life. And if I talk about some learnings which are, relevant from military to the corporate world, one of the most important factor I feel that clarity in command. When we are having a particular plan or any execution is going to happen, there will surely be the adverse scenarios and conditions. It is very important to understand if such scenario happens, what you are going to perform. And in army or in armed forces, at the last minute, he is also aware if such wrong or maybe a situation comes up, the adverse scenarios, what needs to be done, which is unlike in the other industries. Sometimes in the adverse scenarios, we are still looking for, we look for the, higher management and authorities for the decision. And that can only happen when we are everyday practicing about what is uh, the, the practice needs to be performed and the clarity in the command from the leader. The second, I feel that having the ownership, the extreme ownership, you can, as a leader, you can be standing in the front, and even in such scenarios of high pressures, you should be able to take that and inform and be the, person who is responsible, even though something goes wrong. And third, I believe that the kind of camaraderie is there in armed forces is very high. The team bonding, collaboration is very strong, and that can also, be relevant in the corporate world because nowadays we are not able to connect with people personally. Some teams are sitting outside India. Few, even in India, because of the work from home culture, we generally do not get that chance to meet everybody. But there should be some quality meetings or quality time periods that needs to be given for the teams so that they can have, without any agenda, they can have the meetings for connecting on, on the personal level. They should have that kind of meetings which can actually create their bonding and collaboration on these digital platforms.
Thank you, Mayuri. You rightly said, how in this stressed condition, and thank you for sharing that example. Because these are the real life example that teaches us that leadership comes with a responsibility. When you have, when you have power, when you have a position to act, how do you? It's not only about a power and a position, but it is also about a great responsibility. There is a saying that with great powers comes great responsibility. If I have to ask, and many a time, it is sometimes taken it up, and this is not for everyone, but this is based on my belief. I have seen people that, okay, if they are at a position to act, or if they are at a position to make a changes, but still they do not do, because either they are scared to take decision, or they do not want to be part of, you can understand, because even during my experience in the corporate, I had gone through where people, they did not make a decision because they were just scared to make a decision.
Right.
And what I wanted to learn, like, for you, if what does this power or a position means, uh, in terms of more of a responsibility, more of making a decision. You naturally you gave an example, but if you have to add up something onto that, because why I'm asking this question again is that many a time, and I'm not saying this general statement for all the women or for a leadership position, but we have seen, or there has been a perception that women don't make risky decisions. And that is also one of the thing that I have seen in my career in this sector in manufacturing. Many a times when people have to hire somebody at a higher position which has to make decisions, they sometimes do not prefer, and that is the reason, that is also one of the reason that today at the leadership position we have only 3 to 5% of the women leading the organizations, because still that confidence that okay, if we hire her at a position of power, whether she can make a decision or not.
Right.
And
Right.
naturally that is one of the factor contribution that sits into people's mind, which might not be right, this as a, and that's why I said it could be only a perception. But for you,
Perception.
if you have to, that how, what does power means or a leadership position means, what is this responsibility means to you? With the great power comes great responsibility.
Right. So if I start with the, great power comes with the great responsibility. And when I talk about the military world, there is no word as power. They is been only utilized as responsibility. They only say as responsibility because whenever you are wearing your ranks, so rank, the reason they are on your shoulder because whenever your rank is increasing, your responsibilities are also increasing, and hence the officers have the ranks on their shoulders. And if I compare that with the corporate world, uh, it is not only about as only completing the task for the day. When I was in my last posting, I was the flight commander of my combat unit of missile squadron, and for me, I was taking care of the complete troop of people. I was not only responsible for the task which they are delivering every day. I was also responsible for the individual, their personal, professional growth, not only up to them, but also their extended families, which they stay inside the cantonment. So I can absolutely correlate this sentence as with great power comes to great responsibilities. You are responsible for the life of the individual who is working under you. So coming to this point, when it is applicable to women, or maybe it is applicable to a person who is responsible for that position, so you can have the title, but the position will be respected with the trust of the people, the team, those are working under you. I believe that for women, it is about the self doubt. Most of the time, there is a hesitation, and whether I can be, deliver at that place or not. In India, the statistics say that only 20% women are at the leadership position, and only 5% women are there who are as a CEO in the company in India. So definitely that at the higher channel when they are aspiring to be at the leadership positions, the ratio is getting lower. And there are few points where we really need to understand what kind of support, whether she is getting that support, whether she is believing in herself that I can do that. Sometimes that hesitation keeps you at the back, and surely for that you need to have a courage and take the decision. You really need to have the clarity in your thoughts before taking the decision. Here, I would like to mention one example. Few days back, I read a story of Kiran Bedi when you must be aware that she was also, taking a charge of the Tihar jail. So, because of her strong and courageous nature, she has been got number of postings during her IPS journey. And that time when she was given a charge of Tihar jail, which was one of the India's, not only India's, Asia's largest and the most violent jail, she focused upon, what rather than, focusing upon the punishments, she was focusing upon to hear what are the issues are there. And when she realized that, she started uh, providing the education to the prisoners. She started meditation in the jail. She also started giving the vocational training to them. So there are so many learnings from here we can take. And that initially the Tihar jail, which was being said as Tihar jail, it got known as Tihar Ashram when she took a charge. So leadership requires courage as well. She was into the male dominating environment where she was focusing upon the courageous decisions to be taken. Definitely, being a woman, empathy naturally comes. And she was utilizing her strength as empathy, she was utilizing her strength as the social responsibility. And she delivered it very well, excellent, and was definitely top in the global level. So the point is, we really need to understand the courage is very important going forward. And if you are not getting support, you need to figure out what all things, what all resources can provide you the support. And someone needs to, who is looking for that position, needs to be very, very clear in her thought. It is same applicable for a male fraternity as well. Sometimes we are very hesitant to go forward and having that self doubt. Here, I believe that mentors play a vital role. They can provide the support. They can SWOT analysis is, we generally put it for our teams. SWOT analysis is strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We analyze that, and one or any individual should actually do that SWOT analysis for ourselves to understand where are the my strengths are. I have a good strength. Where am I lacking? Opportunities and understanding the threats as the negative points where I can actually work upon. So these things can really help individual to understand and give that edge of taking the decisions. Till the time you don't take decisions and having the overthinking, we actually lack the the timeline, and it is also required to be taking the decision at the right time.
Thank you, Mayuri. Thanks for talking about the mentorship part. And I was trying to come to that as a next, you know, uh, and we talked about leadership. Let's also talk about breaking the barriers. And for women, I have seen many women, their barrier might not exist, but they have a barrier in their thought first. And I always say that we need to come out of that barrier first. They will start re-evaluating, overthinking so much, whether it is for applying for a job or even taking up a new skill. I believe that mental barrier has to be broken first rather than any actually barrier existing. So as a woman in uniform, you might have your own set of challenges, your barriers, how you came out of that. And also I wanted to add up, you talked about mentorship. If you had mentors, how it helped you, because this is going to help women who will be listening today, the professional or the students, that it's not that you have to fight this battle alone. There are mentors, there are industry leaders, there are people. Reach out to the right network, and that's where at WIMA we are helping and supporting. We help you to connect with mentors, we help you to connect with industry leaders. So if I have to ask you, Mayuru, coming back to the question again, how did you overcome some of those barriers, and how your mentors helped you?
Right. Being in uniform, we always have a the mentor and the manager. They are also your supporters. So when I was in uniform, I never figured this out as a different subject altogether, because each and everybody is very supportive, and we can talk about and discuss about that transparency and getting that guidance. was easier. And uh, in the corporate world, what I have realized, and that must be my opinion, after 30 or at the mid manager level, people do hesitate for talking about the career growth, career path. Sometimes that in that dilemma, people start overthinking about it, and they do not much openly discuss about the career path and journeys which they want to go ahead with. So here, the mentors, I believe that the mentorship is underrated. Every individual in their life, they require a mentor since childhood, since our childhood till the person is 80 and above. Some or the other way, whether it is for medical facility, whether it is for your professional growth, personal life thing. So, but when it comes to going on a higher side, higher career path, the people uh, they actually couldn't speak about that, and they feel that you are I'm alone at the top. I think here mentorship plays a vital role, and here the industry should come up and support these kind of policies. It is really important, and the concentrated focus is required to provide from the educational institutions, from the industry leaders, as well as from the policymaker to provide that kind of support, whether it is for the women if she is looking for ahead, what kind of support the industries can provide. Example, uh, if she is staying in a different city where her families are not around, if she wants to, put up the child in the child care, so that kind of facility, providing the safety and security for the women, providing the kind of support and the guidance she is willing for that. And if she is aspiring to be a leader in that area, so the kind of support which is she is looking for, so that kind of policies needs to be addressed. And that is what I would like to mention here, that mentorship is really important for everyone.
Thank you, Mayuri. It's uh, one more thing which I wanted to tell you to our viewers, that we are approaching last 15 minutes are there for our session. If you have any questions, please put it up your questions in the chat. We will be taking up these questions in the last segment, as we have two more questions to go with Mayuri, and then Mayuri, we will take the question that our registered user have already put it up. So we talked about leadership, we talked about breaking barriers, we talked about mentorship, we talked about your journey of from the defense to corporate. One more thing which should be, especially for the women who are aspiring to uh, go to the leadership roles. If I have to ask you that how your military leadership or that you have grown into, how it helped you to think on the wider perspective of empowering more women, whether in the corporate or, because I know you do a lot of mentoring for students who wants to
Right.
join defense forces. You're also working with Mumbai Cricket Association, right? So what I wanted to understand more, how it helped you to think on the broader perspective of empowering more women, how that leadership shaped you, if you want to share that journey.
Right, especially for the aspiring women, those are really looking to for creating their own path. Firstly, I would like to say that we need to be very clear about what we are looking forward. What I have done for myself is, writing down the points where I was, doing good. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? That has actually helped me. Understanding, it is really important to understand what you are looking for. Uh, the goal has to be very clear. For leadership, my aim was to always to give back to the society, always thinking about how I can give. And this is known as a servant leadership. There are different styles of leadership, and when as a leader, if you are a servant, you can actually think about providing. what kind of support I can give it to my team. So here I actually correlated that with how I can give back. So that created multiple paths for me. I started thinking about how I can provide help to the students who are aspiring for uh, career in defense forces. And then when your vision is clear, so aim has to be very clear. Your goal has to be very clear about what you are looking for. How I can give back. Not it will be always to how I can, gain with that. Most of the time we have a habit of how I'm, what I'm gaining from that. What is the profit for me? On the other side, it is really important to also think what I can give back. And surely there will be a lot of multiple paths you can understand with that. Expectations will be higher, and definitely the productivity will be more. Um, During my uh, military time, I really learned multiple things, multiple basics of leadership, which I got the opportunity to apply in the corporate world. I was in my second company, I was part of Eaton India Innovation Center, where I was taking care of the administration and securities. I actually, after that, I also joined a particular small assignment that was into the cricket league, where all the women cricket players, they were all the women. And I also keep on, learning from all the women I met in my life. I keep on thinking what all good qualities are there, how I can apply in my life as well. So, keeping and learning from each other has evolved me, I can say. Not only just, doing the certifications, but it is everyday practice. We keep on learning from each other. So that is what has evolved me as a leader.
Thank you, Mayuri. And the last question, maybe on the interview, and then we will take the questions that we have received. Is if you have to advise somebody, and in fact, few of the questions which has come into the, in this of the similar type, that how they should be approaching to leadership. If you have to advise to the young women who are going to be joining either the military or to the corporate, how they should be approaching to the leadership roles, or any advice you would like to give it to them.
For leadership role, first, I believe that our professional knowledge has to be very, very strong because in whatever field we will be, applying our uh, leadership skills, it is really important to understand our professional knowledge. It is an era where it is, artificial intelligence learned by each and every individual. Maybe by 2030, we can see that every individual, the freshers still, those are aspiring for the leadership, everybody would be aware about that. The question is where we are heading for the emotional intelligence. And this is one thing where we need to focus upon. And we need to understand emotional intelligence also plays a vital role when it is required to understand high pressure times, adverse scenarios, understanding the team, what they are looking for. The best part is you can learn everything. And at any stage of life, you can learn about the emotional intelligence, focusing upon the career path for the leadership. So it is really important for us to understand about what we are looking for, having that clarity in the mindset, and looking and preparing our support, what do you say, support elements. Like for the family, you need to speak about that. That transparency needs to be there with your manager as well, so that all these elements can help the individual to reach towards the goal. Rather than, later we keep on like I didn't get that kind of support from uh, any of the element. So if we have that vision and goal very clear, we can already prepare our support systems, and they will be also helping you to achieve the goal. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Mayuri. So, in fact, now let's come back to our questions that we have received from our users who have registered with us. And I again request those users who are watching us live, those viewers, please, put your questions into the chat, and we'll be taking your live questions right now. Again, to all the viewers, if you would like to become WIMA member, please visit our website www.wima.co.in. wima.co.in. You can register yourself as a member. You can be part of the skilling, the network, the employability support that we offer. Whether you are a student or a professional or an organization, we can help you to have more diverse workforce in your organization. Now, and also help you in your career. Now let's come back to few of the questions, and these are some of the very real question. And I was going through the question, and one of the viewer, one of the person who has registered has said, how to approach the leadership role or how to get the leadership roles, especially when the consultants don't hear you, or when the consulting organizations don't, or the references don't work for you. So Mayuri, naturally, I'll hear your views, as well as I also wanted to add it up, and I can understand from where this is coming in, and I myself has faced up this kind of thing, and that's why I would like to also share in. But your views, Mayuri, and then I'll share in mine.
Yeah, it is very challenging when a person is playing for the leadership roles and the support which I was talking about. That support is not there. I believe that your area of interest, you will always maybe with respect to the acts and the kind of engaging activities you are doing in your team, maybe with your acts you will have to focus, and rather than saying, you might have to show it with your actions. That might also help to express your area of interest. Sometimes talking and verbal communication doesn't help, and they doesn't go anywhere, but the actions which you will be doing will be visible not only to the immediate person, but the complete organization, and maybe the cross functions, they can also check that. So first thing, the acts are really need to be uh, oriented to the leadership thing, the kind of skill sets and certifications, even if that is also if you can do that, it will also help and add on, which will also be visible on the social media platforms, so that your other counterparts who are also in the same organization, they can you will be visible. Sometimes just that immediate person where you are trying to convey your uh, aspirations, if that is not helping, then you will have to find the various other ways to make visible and understand. And surely you will have to have that conversation and communication also keep on going, so that you can that formally it is somewhere you can mention it, that this kind of aspirations I have also projected to my immediate manager. I hope that helps you.
Thank you, Mayuri. I also would like to, state here, based on my corporate experience of 22 years and leading to a lot of leadership role in many companies. I want to tell to all the women professional or to the student or to any professional who are hearing us today, plan your career. Don't keep your career in the hands of somebody else or some company. And I tell this that your career is in your hand. Don't wait that a consultant will call you for a leadership position. It doesn't happen. And to plan your career, when you have spent 4 5 years in your career, now you know which direction you want to go for your next 10 15 years. When you will be at the peak of your career, start dreaming what you would be at the peak of your career. And then when you dream, then you know how do you want to divide it from your, how do you want to achieve it. Because one thing which I have seen, what happens with many of the people, they are working in a company, then they are getting some job offer, they switch to that job offer just because that job offer was offering them some good salary or maybe some role, or they were frustrated in their current. Now what will happen, and I also made these mistakes, and I am not saying just based because I have to say some good thing. What happen is when you do this without planning your career, Again, after going in the new company, after 2 years or 3 years, you will start feeling frustration. What next? You will switch again. When you plan your career, you know the move that you have to take. You know which offer I should take, which training I should do, which kind of role I should ask my manager because that fits into my career plan. Else, we just keep on doing haphazardly. Whatever comes, we take and move and then get frustrated. So, plan your career. Second is leadership role doesn't come only because, okay, skilling is very important. Upskill yourself because the industry is moving very fast. Today, in 3 to 4 years, we are seeing how the technologies are moving. You have to keep yourself updated. You have to learn on the future skills. Invest in your current, but learn for your future. And third is make your network. Do remember, lot of leadership positions are filled by the network references, not by the consultant references. So plan your career, upskill yourself, and put the and have the network. And this is exactly at WIMA also we are trying to provide a platform for this. You get a network of industrial people who come from the industry, some of the senior leaders of the industry. We help you with the mentors to plan your career, and we also help you with the skilling for the future. So that's the reason. That is where then you understand what my market value is, and then you can demand and ask as per your valuation and not being drifted by whatever comes in. And that's why I say to every professional, plan your career, don't keep it in the hands of your manager or your company. And if you are not doing that, you know what mistake you are doing. So we have 4 minutes left, Mayuri, and I will ask you a last question, maybe. And this question has again come from one of our registered user that how should we mitigate? There are problems coming in the existing work and business, especially the work that they are doing. How should they work or navigate through the difficult times in their business when things are not happening the way they have planned it? If you have any experience you want to share.
Surely, I think everyone goes through that same feeling what you are. So it feels like you are stuck somewhere and you are not moving forward. So I believe that here I have been doing, it is not related to technology, I must say. It is related to the mindset. And with the experience, what I realized is sometimes you also need to give a break for yourself. Think in the calm scenario and think about the steps where we are facing an issue. So the calm mind really helps to understand where that issue is coming up. So this is help. This is a kind of, we can say, rectification of a particular thing where it is, say, tapping the situation. If it is not helping, then going to the second point where it is. So we realize where is the root cause. So by understanding that, you might understand, being into the professional knowledge strong, it definitely helps a lot. So in this scenario, tapping the every, we can say, the pipeline where every time you have to tap it and understand. Giving time for yourself is really also important. Sometimes overwhelmed mind also gets exhausted and get feels like stuck. So this is one thing I would like to mention. And what I have also realized for myself, writing down the problems. In case you face any issue, write it down, think about it, and sometimes you get the clarity in your thoughts. It helps to again, go back and rectify the situation. I have done that number of times for myself, and it has helped a lot. Even that is also not working, take out time for yourself. If you get a leave or a day or so for yourself, think. So the point is, sometimes because of that lot of things in our plate, we are not able to understand and have that clear vision. So try it out, and definitely you will succeed. I feel so.
Thank you, Mayuri. We are at the end. This is the last minute. I would like to thank all our viewers who have watched it, to all the people who have registered and put up their questions. I know there were a few more questions which I couldn't take it, but surely as we have already taken it as a part of the discussion. And thank you, Mayuri, for sharing. I think it was very interesting. Personally, even I had my own set of learning when you described your defense career learnings, your corporate career learning, your transition part, the mentorship part, and those real time examples. Our viewer must have learned a lot. And that is where, if any one of you who are watching us today, you would like to be part of the community of WIMA, please register yourself and be a part of WIMA member. And you can visit our website and register yourself as a member, whether you are a student or professional or an organization. Be part of this community, because it's like, how can we have, until and unless this 50% of the population does not represent in the industry, we know we'll always struggle to have these kind of we will always struggle to have the questions for the participation. And that is our small effort to at least help in, even if it makes a 0.001% you know help support into this industry. So thank you again, Mayuri, for sharing this, and thank you, viewers. We will again come back with our another session very soon. As we say, we do this session every month, at least 2 to 3 session, and technical and soft skill session. And thank you, Mayuri, for sharing your leadership experiences.
Thank you so much once again, Neelam, for having me over here. Thank you so much, all the viewers. Thank you.